Well, it's good, everybody. Timeless Travelers tutorials here today with part 2 of the Creeper Crucible. I made a previous video for those that have not seen. That is the showcase for this build that I am currently in, the Creeper Crucible, a multifunctional creeper farm that produces gunpowder, XP, and charged creepers. So this is the part 2 of that installment where we're going to go over the tutorial on how to build this step by step. So before we go any further, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and slap that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all future content. Now, without any further ado, let's get into the tutorial and the materials required. Hello everybody, this is me from the future. After we have completed the entire tutorial and done the entire build, just checking in with you just to make sure that you know that down below in the description, there is in fact a world download of this map. I set everything up for you, so all you have to do is just click download, get it from Mediafire, and you will be able to get this entire Creeper Crucible with a couple goodies here. We have our trident with our impaling, or with our not impaling, with our loyalty and our channeling. We have our looting 3 sword, and there is a little book that is I made a book that is a guide for you to a little more description on all the bits of the farm and troubleshooting. I had a little backstory behind that as a little special treat for y'all. So go ahead and take a look at that download, play with the world if you want, cut it up, dissect it, learn how it works, why it works the way it does, before you decide to maybe build one in your own survival world. The materials list will include the amount of each colored wool that we're going to be using in the tutorial. So if you do not have a wool farm, that is okay. If you want to use different colored blocks, or if you want to use the same building block that you're going to be using for the bulk of your farm, that is okay too. Whatever is easier for you. Using colored wool is just kind of a way that a lot of us kind of differentiate our circuits and make it stand out a little better. However, I understand that in survival, if you are not, if you don't have a wool farm, getting all these colored wools is going to be a bit of a challenge. So that is okay. Use whatever blocks you want to use. And now let's get into how to build this. All right, everybody, we're up here above the ground. We're about 100 blocks up. This is to prevent any mobs spawning. You want to be outside of the spawn range when you are, if there is ground below you, you could be above a deep ocean and just go up by like another 30 or so blocks, just as long as you make sure you are outside of the spawn range for everywhere that is not going to be our farm. So what I did here is I just kind of zoned out the area. This is perfectly chunk aligned, so you're going to want to use some method of figuring out where your chunk borders are. If you are on the Windows 10 edition, then there are resource packs. If you are on the console or anything that won't allow you to use external resource packs, then you can always use chunk base. So I have the chunk set out here, and what you want to do is you want to find the center of your chunk in a 2x2. So that's going to be your 8th and 9th block going in both directions. So if we go in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, okay? So we're going to bring that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this is going to be our center. We can go ahead and get rid of that. That's just to help us get over here. And now that we're here, we can go ahead and we can just place our soul sand down. All right. And then you're going to want to get out your packed ice. And you're going to want to go out by 29 on all sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And once you're done here, just bring that all the way across and you're going to make a massive plus sign. So go out by 29 on all 4 sides with your packed ice. All right, you should have something that looks like this. So what I did off camera, of course, I just got rid of the indicator blocks because now that this is chunk aligned, we don't need to have our blocks kind of indicating where the chunk is. If as long as we build this perfectly, the rest of it's going to be set up. We just had to get our center, and now we are ready to go from there. So when it comes to the packed ice, like I said, you should have this nice plus sign or X, whatever you want to call it, and go ahead and get out your building block, and you're going to wrap this all the way around the perimeter of your packed ice. So it should go up by 1 and then all the way around. All right, you should have something that looks like this. So what I did off camera, of course, I just got rid of the indicator blocks because now that this is chunk aligned, we don't need to have our blocks kind of indicating where the chunk is. If as long as we build this perfectly, the rest of it's going to be set up. We just had to get our center, and now we are ready to go from there. So when it comes to the packed ice, like I said, you should have this nice plus sign or X, whatever you want to call it, and go ahead and get out your building block, and you're going to wrap this all the way around the perimeter of your packed ice. So it should go up by 1 and then all the way around. You should have something that looks like this on all 4 sides. Now we can go ahead and put in our trident killers. All right, so go ahead and you get out your glass panes, your trident, your powered rail, your observer, and your piston. And we're going to start off by placing the powered rails in the corners. So going in a 4x4 pattern, so you leave a gap of 2 on all sides like that. And you want to place that observer facing into all of your powered rails. You put your solid block there, so it detects the update, powers this block, and it's going to power the rail. Observer is going to notice the update and just repeat the cycle. Very simple. We'll just bring this all the way around like that. Okay. Next, go ahead and get your glass panes and put them right here at the same level as your observers. And you can go ahead and get out your piston, and on all of your solid building blocks, go ahead and place them down like this. They should be up in the top corner on the left side for all of your trident killers. And then go ahead and get out your building block and then just fill this in. Like that. Go ahead and we'll get out the trident. Now, I mentioned 16 in the materials list. The number varies. It really depends on whether or not you have impaling, and it affects essentially how quick the creepers get killed. So you could have like a couple with like impaling 5 on there or something. How many was that? Was that 4? Yeah, okay, 4. So I put 4 tridents in there. But having impaling would affect how quickly the creepers get ground up. Having more tridents also affects it. So it really varies. Just a good general number. If you're not using any enchantments, I would just say use about 4 for each trident killer. So go ahead, just leave that alone. This is good as it is right now. You can do this now on all 4 sides. And let's get on to the next step. All right, so I know there's a lot right here. What I did was I actually had to go back in one of my earlier recordings and redo one of the instructions due to a slight oversight on my part. So don't worry about any of this right now. You will learn how to do this in the upcoming clips. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the water streams. After you finish your trident killer, you are going to have your water buckets and go ahead and place your sources right here. And on that very last bit of flowing water, place down your pressure plates, okay? Then go ahead and repeat this process 2 more times. Make sure that we place it on that last bit of water, okay? Very important. This is that oversight that I mentioned. I didn't do that, and so then I had to recalculate everything. So when you are done, you want to make sure that you have a space of 5 here, okay? So make sure you place your water right, or your pressure plate on that last bit of flowing water all the way up until this point. From here, you just let it flow all the way. You should have a gap of 5. So go ahead and do this on all 4 sides. All right, everyone, you should have your water streams all set up on all 4 sides. Now let's go ahead and work on the circuitry to power on our trident killer and switch to charge mode, all right? So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get out the purple wool for those that are using colored wool. Go ahead and place it down here. And 1 over. Temporary here, place up, get rid of that. All right. You're going to want to put your repeater here. And from here, we're going to torch tower up by an additional 3 blocks. So torch, first block, torch, second block, torch, and third block. Okay. Now coming over to this side, up against this torch, you're going to want to place down another bit of wool and slap on some dust. All right. That's going to be it for the purple circuit. This torch tower slash repeating NOT gate is what's going to control all of the circuitry here, the trident killer and the charge mode, the piston doors, the piston floors. It all comes from this being powered. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start on the next level. Go ahead and get out your lime wool. And starting from the second torch, go ahead and place this down by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Should be right in line with this side right here. So we're going to bring this all the way around. Leave a 1 by 1 gap here. And then you can bring this back here. Not as long as here. We're going to keep it 1 block short. Okay. And we're going to come back over here. And from the center, we're going to go out by 2 on both sides. Going up another level, you're going to place down a 2 by 2. So this should be perfectly in line with your drop chute. All right. Let's go ahead and get our circuitry in here. So we're going to start off with the redstone. We're going to place it down here. Right here, place your repeater. Keep bringing this all the way around. Go over this way. Place, and all the way around like that. Perfect. Now we're going to get out the observer. We want it to observe our redstone line because it's going to emit a quick pulse to let out the water and retract the water. Let's go ahead and place your observers, then place your dispensers. Your dispensers should be perfectly in line with that back wall. So as soon as it shoots out, it'll drop down this direction. Oh, I think I just picked up my tridents by accident. So now, go ahead and get out your pistons and making sure you are in line with these 2 blocks here. Up against your redstone, you'll see we're on that hitbox right here. Go ahead and place it down. If you need, you can put a temporary block here before you place down your redstone if that is easier for you. And then do the same thing on this side. No, we'll just do that. That's a little easier. Perfect. So that's going to activate our piston doors, sending them off into the nether once they are charged. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and get out our final circuit wool. And we're going to go over to this side. And we're going to actually start with our sticky piston. I'm sorry. Go ahead and place one here. And then place one here. All right. I'm going to slap a bit of dust right on here because we're going to bring that circuit all the way around. So get out your pink wool and place it up against that piston. Bring it out by 4. You're going to be in line with these observers. We're just going to have them brush against the surface like that. And you can end it right here for now, okay? And go ahead and place your sticky pistons down. Once you have that sticky piston, you can go ahead and put a piece of pink wool right here. Now you're going to want to get a repeater right there. And then just bring this circuit all the way around and connect it up. Once you place it down on this one, that one should also extend. So keep in mind, because our redstone activates the pistons by passing through the side, this is a Bedrock only feature. So I'm sorry, those that are on Java, this will not work for you. You'll have to do it differently. So yeah, keep that in mind. This is Bedrock only because this is a Bedrock feature. And that's going to be it for the circuitry. Go ahead and do this on the other 3 sides. So now our next step from here is you're going to want to fill all of this in, creating your drop chutes, establishing your 2x2 piston floors and doors. All right. And when it comes to building this up, how high we go, so say you're at this level of the pink wool right here, you're going to go up by an additional 1, 2, and 3 blocks, okay? That's going to help create our, complete our drop chute, as well as have the setup for the collection pad, which we'll get to further on in the tutorial. All right, they should all look like this. You got your casing all in. So we're going to come back down here towards our center, and we're going to go ahead and get out our slabs. This is going to stop the water from the bubble column from flowing into the lava. This is going to stop the lava from flowing into the bubble column. All right, so go ahead on all these sides, go ahead and slap down those slabs at the same level as this row of blocks right here, okay? And then once you have that done, we're gonna just temporary and place our glass right here. We're gonna go out by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, just bring that across on all 4 sides. All right, you should have this nice little somewhat plus sign of glass. And we're going to come over to one of the branches or modules, and we're going to establish the floor for our creepers to travel along via water streams into the nether, okay? So 1 block below this Y level with the pistons, drop down right here. And we're going to bring this all the way out. Don't bother counting. I'll tell you when you need to stop. So you want to stop right about here, okay? You're going to be right at the very same spot as your water. And then you're going to get your glass. You're going to go up by 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you should end right here, okay? And of course, you're going to bring this all the way back again. You're going to double up on this glass. You're going to double up on this row of building blocks. And we're going to connect it all up with our obsidian. We're going to get our nether portals ready. So go ahead, and we're just going to do your standard nether portal. I don't think I need to explain how to build a nether portal. You know the dimensions by now. So go ahead and just build it. Yeah, see. Apparently I need the tutorial on how to build a nether portal. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and we'll just do your standard portal here. So go ahead and work on that. Complete the solid blocks right below your pistons, and with your glass, go out by 4. You should end right here. Okay, I'll see you when that is done. All right, now we're done with this. As you can see here, we got ourselves our basic, 4 by 5 nether portal, meaning we have a 2 by 3 hole in the middle. On all 4 sides, you should have your glass all set up and your building blocks here. So now what we want to do is, of course, we want all these creepers going off to the sides. That's going to be a very, very bad time. So just go ahead and on all sides, just fill this in, and we're going to go up all the way to the top of the nether portal. So you're going to stop right here, okay? So fill this in until you have yourself your nice walls set up on all sides. All right, you should have your chambers all set up. Just for reference, it should be 1 Y level lower than this 4 by 4. Okay. Now we're going to go down under here, and we're going to create, the chamber to prevent our bubble columns from going out. All right. Now, so go ahead and get out your building block and just pillar up like that. And then go ahead and fill this in with your glass. Now you don't have to do this. I mean, you're not really going to be down here looking at it because you're going to be up above in your AFK spot. But I think it looks nice if you're approaching this from a distance. You're flying in or climbing in, and I think it looks good to have this bubble column here to be able to see your bubble columns. So go ahead and fill this in. And I also, this is optional, I went ahead and I just covered up this little area right here, okay? It's just kind of to clean it up a bit. It doesn't affect the functionality. So if you don't want to do it, you want to save resource, that's fine. If you just want to kind of clean it up a bit, then go ahead and do that. So I will see you all when that is done for the next step. Now it's time to work on the floor of our central hub. So go ahead and from this nether portal, make sure that these aren't on, by the way. I don't know if I needed to say that, but these should not be turned on until I let you know to activate them, okay? Just making sure. And so from the portal, we're going to go out with our glass blocks. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then solid blocks, we're going to go 1, 2, okay? Go ahead and fill that in. And you're going to do this on all 4 sides, of course. And what you're going to do from there, missed one, is you're going to just connect them up and fill in your square. Okay, so go ahead and do that on all sides, and I will see you when we have our square for our central hub. And here we go. We have ourselves our perfect square. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start building around like this. Okay. And what you're going to do right here, just go ahead and place 2 down. Skip these blocks for your wall and just bring that all the way around like so. All right. And once you get to the end of this, check this out. You're going to want to get out your iron bars. Should be done in just a moment. There we go. So now that we have this, let me pan out for you just a moment. Like so. Okay. You're going to get out your iron bars, and on that additional block that we just added on, place them down here. Now, this doesn't have to be the iron blocks. As I mentioned before, you can use your fences, you can use walls, you could even just put a block and then a slab on top, just as long as you have a way of not jumping over. Safety first, we want to make sure that you aren't going to endanger yourself when you have your arrangement of creepers and charge creepers. And for height, we're going to just build this up by 3 in total. Okay, so I will see you all when that is done. Finish the perimeter, get out your iron bars, and build this up by 3. All right, so now we have our walls all set up with the iron bars right there. Now we're going to complete our bubble column by going up by 23. So you see we're at y equals 111. So I want to be at 134. Okay, so we'll just bring this all the way up to 34. 40. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yes, I can count. I can count. Okay. And so anyway, we're going to bring this all the way up. On the corners, you want to use your building blocks like so. And then down the middle too, on every side, go ahead and just use your glass. Now what you could do actually, instead of going all the way up with your glass, you could put that there. Again, that's part of that look and that trim if you wish to do so. If not, it's fine. It's not going to change anything. It's just it's more aesthetic. So this is one side out of 4. Just make sure wherever y coordinate you are at, just add 23. And I will see you when we have the entire column finished. And there we go. We are 23 blocks up on all 4 sides with a nice little trim right there as an option. So since we're up here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to build our AFK platform. Don't worry about the putting in the trapdoors in the water just yet. We just want to get this AFK spot set up. So we're going to go up by 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. You can get away with 3. It's just, look at that. It's a little cramped. So I'm just going to do, go up by 1 more block. And then you just want to build yourself a 4x4 and get your slabs and just place them all across to prevent any mobs from spawning. And that is going to be your AFK platform. All right, now that we have that, we have our AFK platform set up. Now we're down here, and it was slightly misleading. Go ahead and, I apologize for that. Go ahead and take out this glass on all 4 sides. And you want to put your buttons down here because we need a way in and out of the bubble column because that is how we get to our AFK spot. Okay. So now that we have this established, now we want to really finalize this bubble column. Okay. So as you can see, we have the buttons on all 4 sides. The water cannot escape. So now we're going to get our, our flint and steel. Okay. So find a way to get down here. And you can go ahead and ignite these. We need them lit in order to keep the bubble column, keep it contained, all right? And of course, after we put our water streams in on each module, it's gonna spill over. So we need to make sure this is here as somewhat of a barrier. So building this in creative, just be careful because the moment you touch that portal, you're gonna disappear. If you're in survival, you don't have to worry. It's just gonna get annoying having all those particles and stuff covering your screen. And so go ahead and we're going to get out the dirt. We're going to take out that soul sand temporarily because we need somewhere to put the kelp down. So If you want to just spam these chambers with a bunch of water sources, you can do that. That is going to take some time. If you have the kelp, you might as well use this method, okay? So we're only actually going to put water sources on this corner and that corner. And you see we have ourselves a perfect infinite water source. Make sure that it is always on opposite corners, okay? Place your kelp here, and we're going to come all the way up here actually and place the water in those same two corners. All right. Don't worry about the infinite water source here. That's not the point. So the water is going to flow down here, okay? And for those that don't know, the way kelp works, as it grows, so right here, this is not a water source. This is still flowing water coming from that corner that we placed it in. Once we put the kelp down, it becomes a water source. So how we put water in those two corners to start with, and it created the infinite water on these adjacent sides, it's going to do the same thing when we put the kelp here. So now this entire 2 by 2 by 2 space is all infinite water. So that's how the bubble columns are going to work. So just take this kelp and bring it all the way to the top, okay? Bring it all the way back down. Of course, do the same thing on the other side, and you're going to see that we have infinite water, like that, okay? Now we're going to go back down here. Just make sure that you can breathe this long underwater. Hold your breath. Break the kelp. Once you get your soul sand in, you won't have to worry about running out of breath. You could just, step in here real quick, get some oxygen, work your way back down, okay? So go ahead, and as you can see, we have all 4 columns going all the way to the top, okay? And now whatever side you want to place these on, just go ahead on the top half of the blocks. You'll go ahead and place your trapdoors. This is going to allow the XP to flow through. And as we come up from the bubble column, it's going to allow us a way out so we don't drown. Once you get into this bit of water right here, this isn't actually affected by the bubble column, so you won't be breathing underwater once you're at this level. So just make sure you flip this up real quick on your way up. Okay, now once you're done with that, we are back down here at the bottom of our central hub. Now we have a fast way up, but now we need a fast way down, and a way down that won't affect, we don't want to suffer fall damage. So starting on the 3rd block, just bring that out by 1, and you're going to create a ring all the way around the bubble column. You're going to do this one more time. And once you have that done, you want to go ahead, get out your buttons, and just place them on the bottom ring, okay? You want to make sure that the water doesn't go anywhere. Perfect. Now, if you want to just do it the quick way, you could do one in this corner and one in this corner. As you can see, the water reaches all the way around. I like to kind of just even it out and just fill it in with infinite water, but you don't have to. The water is going to reset your fall damage either way, okay? So if we test this out here, we can go in, we have a fast way up. We go through the trapdoor, and when we're done AFKing, we just drop down, and we have a safe way down. Now that we have that, we can begin to work on our circuitry, okay? So I want you to just pick a side, any side, doesn't matter, and we're going to begin working on our master switch and linking up our trident killers. So go ahead, we're going to get out our levers. So we're going to place one right here. And so the side that you are starting out on is going to be your master side. So I'm not going to say do the same thing to all 4 sides when it comes to this master switch, because we're going to link it up to this branch, and then we're going to go over how to link it up to all the other branches, okay? So you have your switch here, and go ahead and flick it on. So that way it's in a constant on state, and once we connect our redstone, it will prime our trident killer, and it will be properly linked up, okay? So make sure that this is on, or flicked down, and we're going to come around here. We're going to drop down 1, 2, and 3. We're going to place our glass. We're going to make our vertical redstone. So we're going to go down 9 total. So 1, 2, just zigzag pattern, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Go ahead and break that temporary. Then we're going to come around to the other side. Go ahead and get out your next indicator color. I'm using yellow wool. And we're just going to bring that all the way across like that, okay? Now we're going to work our way back up here. And this should be on if you slap down your redstone. And for those who don't know, the way glass works is that we can carry redstone vertically all the way down, up and down. As you can see, it's right down the middle. And this allows us to carry the current straight down. For bringing it straight up, we use our torch towers, but that also could invert the signal because they are technically not gates. So you're going to bring this all the way along, and oh, wow, that's embarrassing. I forgot a repeater. Okay. So whenever the circuit ends, just add yourself a repeater here. Bring it all the way across, and you should see this whole thing is going to flip. This is going to open because we have charge mode on. The door is going to close. This is going to tick. We'll get to that in just a moment. And if you have your volume on, the Trident Killer is not working. Just to make sure, you can tell that this is not getting constantly powered on. So that lets you know that you have your master switch set up. Now we're going to work on connecting all of our Trident Killers back up to this master switch here. So go ahead and keep out your yellow wool, whatever indicator block you're using. We're going to go out by the second one here, so coming out by 2. You want to have 1 bit of glass left over on the edge as you build up on top. Okay. We're going to build this out until you are right in line with that 4th block. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So bring that in. So you're going to come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then from here, just bring this all the way to your second Trident Killer. That is the end of the framework for this side. And we're going to do the same exact pattern until you make it over there. Okay, so I'm just following along with me. We're going to bring this out by 4, and then 3. Bring this up. And once you're on the right side of your branch, of course, just bring that all the way over. Now, you don't have to do this. This is one of those things I mentioned where it is optional to use the wool. You don't even have to use a different color block. You could just lay your redstone down on top of this. Again, this comes down to aesthetics and neatness. So it's really up to you how you want it to look. So keep that in mind. As long as your redstone is functioning and the same, then you don't really have anything to worry about, okay? So we just complete this here, complete our framework for the yellow line. And remember, we still have our master switch on. Yes, everybody still has their switch on. Good. This should be constantly powered. So now you just want to bring your redstone all around to every single circuit, placing down repeaters where appropriate. Whenever you see it end, typically right about here, okay? We're just going to reset it right here, okay? And there is no right or wrong place to put your redstone and repeaters. Just wherever the current ends, wherever you think it needs to be, just go ahead and place it down to reset it, okay? It runs every 15 blocks for those that don't know. So, keep that in mind. And then once you connect it up, you're going to prime your Trident Killer, and you will be ready to go. So go ahead. I will see you when the other circuits are complete. All right. So we have our master switch for the AFK/charge mode complete. There is no wrong way to put down your redstone and repeaters, as I said, so long as when that switch is pulled down, all of your Trident Killers are receiving power. As long as they are receiving power, then that is the only right way to do it, okay? So now, the last step we have to do before we do a final test is just drop a water bucket in every dispenser. All right, everybody, you should have water buckets in all 8 of your dispensers. Now, before you hit that lever, you may have noticed that we are in charge mode and the water is not coming out like it should. So this is very important. What we're going to do is we're going to trip our redstone. We're going to trip our observers. So essentially, like I mentioned in the troubleshooting video or troubleshooting section in my previous video showcasing this build, the lever will output twice if it's rigged up a certain way, right? The way we have it set up, 2 different things will happen in its on in its off and on state. So we can technically consider that as two separate inputs and two separate outputs. Okay, it's not just on and off, it's input A and input B. Okay, the observer is going to detect the change from input A and input B and output a quick 1 tick pulse when you switch between these two states. Okay, so the way that we trip the observer is if we flick the lever quicker than the observer can detect. So the observer is only going to be able to pick up one update if you do this in rapid succession and just give it a double tap. Okay, so by doing a double tap, what we're going to do is we're going to trip that observer. It's only going to observe one change in the redstone, so it's only going to output a signal once. So that means we're going to go into AFK mode by flicking it back up and then straight back down into charge mode. Observer's going to pick it up one time and output the water while this is down in charge mode, which is the correct state for the water to be flowing. Okay, so all together now, go ahead and watch me if you need. Just give it a double tap and look in the left corner. Flick, flick. And there we go. Look at that. So if you did it right, this should happen on all four sides. The doors will be open, the floor will be closed, and your water will be outputted. This is the proper alignment for your charged mode. The next step, of course, is, now you get to label it. So I would do something like, I don't know, like AFK mode, something like that. It's really up to you. Whatever helps. Oh, wow, what's going on here? Whatever helps you figure out, which mode is which. And then something like this, I would do like, charged mode. Okay, something like that for your master switch. And then while we have our signs out, you can go ahead and just to differentiate, if you need this visual reminder, what? And there we go. After several failed attempts later, we have ourselves master switch is, because we're going to have another master switch, so we have to make it plural. We're going to have that switch right here. We'll get to that in just a bit. But yes, so now that you have that set up, AFK mode, or XP mode, or gunpowder mode, whichever, any of those work, because that's going to produce all of those when that mode is on. And then charge mode, it's going to send them here, and we'll work on the rest of that in just a moment. And if you want to go ahead and make sure that it still works, go ahead and slap AFK mode, and you'll take a look. You'll see that your trident killers are in fact on. Oh, that's the one that I forgot to put trident in, of all the trident killers to take a look at. But yes, so that is it for the first master switch, everyone. Congratulations. Let's get on to the next bit. Now let's get to work on our second master switch. This is going to be our XP on and off switches, okay? So we're going to come right over here, and of course make sure you have some sort of platform to walk on if you are in survival. All right, we're going to actually take out these blocks. Just the first one coming out of that 4x4. Okay, coming out from the wool 1, 2, 3. Take out that third one and place your dispensers in like so. Okay, it's going to be a little bit tricky. You might have to actually remove your glass temporarily and then just place it back. Okay. All right, we are over here on the master switch side, okay? So now we're gonna go ahead and put in our framework. Now that you have your dispensers in, facing in towards the packed ice, of course. And how we're gonna do this is we're just going to fill in that corner and bring this up. Just all the way around, like so. Perfect. Now make sure once you're done, you stay in line on the same exact side as your master switch. This is very important. Go ahead and get out your glass. And we're going to do vertical redstone again. We're going to go up by 4 diagonally. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And then we're going to bring this out with our blue wool. Go ahead and bring that out by 1, 2, and then from there, 1, 2, and 3. All right. With our glass, go ahead and you can just place it across like this. It might be easier. All the way up. You see I already got a little bit of a start going on here. All right. And of course, make sure, I think I already placed it down here. Yeah. So make sure you place your lever here, and we're going to keep it in its off state right now. It doesn't really matter to have it on. We don't have the lava in yet. So let's go ahead and work on our circuitry. Just bring this redstone all the way down, and then go out by 2 on the wall. Once you're there, I want you to come to the other side, place your observer. It needs to observe this redstone update. We're going to place another bit of redstone here, and we're going to extend the signal with the repeater. And then just bring this all the way down and bring it all the way around. Oh, that's not supposed to be there. Like so. And this is going to turn on and off all of your dispensers all at once. Last couple bits of business, you're going to want to place in your lava buckets in every single dispenser. And we're back over here on the master switch control panel. Last thing we have to do, well, a couple last things we have to do. Go ahead and label these. You want this to say XP off. Okay. And then you want this one to be XP on. Just like that. Now, the way we have the setup right now, XP off, should mean that the lava is being put out right now on all 4 sides, which it is not. So just like what we did with the master switch earlier, we need to trip the observer. So give it a double tap, off, and then lava should pour, and it should stay out as long as this is XP off. If you did that right, when you flick it back to XP on, you will see the lava retracts. Perfect. Congratulations, everyone. You have completed both the master switches. Now let's get on to some of the other stuff. All right, team, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get our water streams ready before we put in our circuitry, because it'll help give us a better visual way to measure where we are placing our circuits. So on your master switch side, your master wall, go ahead and switch from AFK mode to charge mode. So we have all 4 sides dispensing our water, okay? So we're going to go over here, and where this water ends, we're just going to cut it off. Nope. We're going to cut it off right here and then place one right here with a button. And this is going to hold our water and go down that way. By having it set up like this, this is to carry our creepers. You'll notice 2 blocks high. By the time that water stream ends, the second one carries them on. Okay? So coming back over here, go ahead and cut this off again. And instead of putting water in, go ahead and put in a dispenser. Just right there on both sides, like that. Okay. Now, just for measurement purposes, I'm going to place one here. You can do this too. Just place a water source here on both sides. There we go. That's what I mean about fighting the water. And you're going to do that one more time. Just cut it off and place your water source. There we go. And once you're back over here, you can actually get rid of that source. You don't have to worry about it anymore. We'll be putting buckets in these dispensers later on. Okay, go ahead and finish this up on all 4 sides. We'll go back to the next bit. And we're back. We have our water stream set up on the outside and the inside like that, making sure that we leave this space open. You don't want the water to be in the way as we're putting in our next bit of circuitry, okay? So you want to be on what we're going to call the master wall, okay? 1, because this is the same wall that we have the master switches on, and 2, this in particular modular switch will be done slightly different than its other 3 counterparts, okay? So keep that in mind. I'm just going to go ahead and flip this back up. All right, so go ahead and get out your lever and go 1, 2, place it in like that. We're going to come over to the other side, leaving it in its, leave it on. That'll help us make sure that we have our circuitry plugged up properly. So we're going to come down 1, 2, and 3, just like over there, vertical redstone. We're going to come down by 6 total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to extend this out just a little bit more. This is what makes it different from the rest of the other 3 circuits, is this is going to go out a little further. All right, we'll show you why in just a moment. Now you can go ahead and break that out on both sides. We're going to put our pistons there in just a moment. We're going to break this We need this space open for our circuitry, otherwise it's going to get cut off. So go ahead and go down, temporary, and place it here. Then we're going to go down again, temporary, place a total of 5. Extend this out, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You should be right in line with this vertical setup right here. Okay. Get out your glass. We're going to vertical redstone it up by 5. So we're going to go up this way, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll just leave that as it is. We're going to come over here and get out our wool again. We're going to go from here, 1, 2, bring that out by about 3. Yes, 3. Sorry, I've been doing this circuit so many times. I forgot the measurement. I kept going off by just 1, so it's been a mess. I've been a little frazzled. So now we can go ahead and we're going to get our pistons in. So go ahead and you put some sort of temporary block there on both sides. Just fill that up. Temporary piston. I'm gonna break that. Fill that in so you have your nice little 2x2 door set up. We can get rid of that temporary. We have temporary on this side. No, I think we're good. Okay. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put our observers right here. Okay. Actually, I'm sorry. We're going to put our observers right here. See what I mean? We're going to put our observers right here, and we're going to put our wool right here. Then we're going to come out right here, like so. Okay. Same thing over here. There we go. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and we're going to now connect our redstone up. So we'll see that this is on to make sure that everything's working as we connect it up. That one fires off. We're going to bring this down. That one fires off. And because we have this gap here, we can bring the redstone circuit down. And we're going to put a repeater right here. And then we're going to put our redstone. Now, if you have your volume on, actually, go ahead and put torches here. Like that. Should create a bit of a NOT gate. This is going to power this block, which is going to power that. If you did it right, you should hear a click, and you're going to hear another click as we connect our observers. Okay? You should hear that click again. I've got my volume turned off, but I'm going to give it a test, of course, after we're all done. Go ahead and put your torches right there. Perfect. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab our redstone and bring it all the way up. That one fires up here. That one fires. And now go ahead and get out your water. I'm going to put 1 bucket in each dispenser. Just like that. Okay. And we're going to give it a little test. Now, if we did this right, the doors should open and the water should shoot out and send the current this way. Okay. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and flick it. There we go. First time. There we go, everyone. Perfect. So if you did it right, this is exactly what should happen. If your observers get a little funky, like I said, sometimes they like to trip. If you find yourself in a situation like this, where the water is not coming out, but the doors are open, just do what I just did here. Just give it a double tap and overload the observer. It'll only be able to pick up one of those signals, so that will fix your little issue here. And there you go. That is the charge and contain and the nether way out circuit. All right, great job, everybody. Now we're going to work on the other 3 circuits. So now this one, what we're doing now from here on out will be the same setup for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th modular switch. All right, just make sure, just to keep it even, always do it on the left wall of each side. All right, So this is going to start off the same. I'll let you know what's going to be different. So continue as before. We're going to go 2 in right here with keep it in its on state. We're going to go around to the back. From the third one down, place it here. And again, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now what's different here is we are not going to extend it out. So the reason why we extended it out in the first place was because this was in the way. And if it was right here, it would have crossed wires and would have messed everything up. We don't need to do that now, so we're not going to. All right, we're just going to put it right here, which means you can break it right here instead and break that out. We're going to come down here, temporary place. And this is going to be the same, temporary place out by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And let's get out our glass, and we're going to build on this side. So we're going to go up here. Okay. We're going to go up by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Now this one, I got my numbers mixed up. So this one we're going to go out by 3 because it is shorter, meaning that it is further away from our dispenser. So this one we want to go out by an additional 3. So we're going to go in by 1, 2, bring this out by 1, 2, and 3. There we go. And then you want to place one here. If we come over to the side, you can see this is happening. Observer is going to power here. Torch is going to power this block. And then we'll have break out these 2 here. Place your orange wool here. Sorry about that. Same thing over here. Place that wool right here. Perfect. And we'll go ahead and we can start putting in some of our components. We got the framework put in. So just like before, go ahead and put in your pistons, fill it in. Same thing over here. Just fill that in. Break your temporaries, of course. There we go. And while we're over here, we're just going to connect it up. Now, what we're going to do right here is we're going to put a repeater down. Right there. Okay. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We're going to put the repeater right here. We'll bring that around, connect it up. We'll see that this all turns on. Perfect. Now we're going to bring this down by 1 and 2, then bring it over. Have the observers observing your redstone circuit. Place your torches here and here. You got your NOT gate, activating the dispenser and deactivating it. There you go. All that we have left to do now, sorry for the mess. Oh, we need one more. All we need to do now is power it with or put in our water buckets. Now, if we want to go ahead and test this out, the doors are shut, the water is not flowing. We flick this switch, the doors will open, and the water will push out. Let's go. All right, there we go. If you've done it right, it should look like this. I will see you when the other 2 are complete. And we are all done. We got the circuitry done on the other 2 sides. And of course, don't forget the most important parts of this. When it's in its on state, it's in charge and contain. When it's in its off state, we give them another way out. Okay? Like so. Now, for now, we are done with all of this. So go ahead and make sure they are all in another way out. This is going to be the default setting. If you have not seen my previous video when I talk about troubleshooting, you always want to leave these in their off default state. Every single circuit, when you are not using this farm, leave all the levers up. Okay, it'll make it much easier. It won't, the observers will not trip when you load your world back up, so long as you have your levers up. Now, in the event that they do trip out, you know what to do. Just give it a double tap and it'll be good to go from there, okay? So that is it, everyone. Congratulations. That is, well, it's not the end of the build. It's not the end of the tutorial by any means, no. But that is all of the redstone. You did it. You made it through. All of the redstone is done. So from here on out, we are just going to work on building our actual farm. This is pretty much all just what collects, grinds them up, and this is the central processing unit. Okay, and this is going to be where they all spawn. So we're going to work on that next. All right, everyone, as a quick intermission time, I just want to take this time to thank you all for watching for this long. I know tutorials are sometimes a lengthy process. I try to make this video as short as possible and give you just all the necessary info. However, this is a big build, so it will take some time. So for those that are still watching and still building this, I thank you for your time. And to show you some of my gratitude, I'm going to come up with something slightly entertaining, hopefully a little more than slightly entertaining. I personally, for one, don't like the wandering villagers. I know I'm not alone in these sentiments. I know many people are very disgusted at the wandering traders or wandering villagers, wandering traders, whatever they are, the ones with the llamas that give you, not so good trades. Sometimes early game they're good. Most of the time they're not. They're just kind of there. They spawn in places they shouldn't. I actually had some spawning over here on the finished version that was slabbed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a kill chamber to take care of these pesky wandering traders for your entertainment. Please, please enjoy this. Replay this over and over to as much as you want, because it is just very satisfying to watch the traders be incinerated. It is a shame that we have to take out the llamas, but that just kind of comes with the part. It is okay. I'm completely okay with this if it means taking care of these pesky wandering traders. All right, break time is over. Let's get back into the build. All right, now you're going to want to come down under here, and you want to line yourself up along the same axis as this yellow wool right here, okay? This is right where our lava ends, just to make sure. There's our lava, okay? Right here is our water. All right, so you want to be where your lava is at with the yellow line. Get out your solid blocks and go down with a 2x2. All right, we're going to just bring this around like this. And then these are going to be temporary, so we just want them there to place down your hoppers much easier. Go ahead and face your building block. It's a little bit easier than having to shift click. If you face the block, it'll just automatically place it down, okay? Get out your minecart hopper, break your rails, and then just wrap this all the way around. Break the temporary block, and you'll have something like this on the other 4 sides. Now, what you want to do from this point on is entirely up to you regarding how you connect these hoppers, okay? There is no right or wrong way. You can put it into a storage silo. You can put it into an item sorter, into one of like your main storage setup or whatever. However you want to do it is up to you. I am not going to show that in this video. I do, however, have a video on how to build a storage silo. You can find a link for that in the description below. But at its base, by default, you could just leave it here and then just slap a couple double chests on each one, connect them all up into the center, into some chests going down. However you want to do it, it's up to you. Just make sure you have your Hopper Minecarts here. Otherwise, as you can see here, it instantly picks up the items the moment it touches those blocks. So if you don't do this, then you'll lose some of your gunpowder. All right, everyone, we are almost done with this. Now the only thing we have to do, besides a bit of spawn proofing, is creating our creeper farms. We're going to do this 4 times, of course. It's going to be a bit of a process. It's very tedious. This is where all those buttons and trapdoors and slabs come into play. All right, so just coming over here. Make sure that you are in AFK mode, so your trident killers should be active, and you want to have your lava on, so turn XP off, okay? Because once you have one farm completed, you're going to start spawning creepers, and you don't want to have any entity lag while you're working on your other 3 farms, okay? And during that time, you're also going to be accumulating gunpowder, so it's good to just have your trident killers active so the creepers don't go to waste. But here we go. From any of these 4 little chambers, you're going to go out by an additional 7. So this is going to be 8 total. If we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're going to do this on all four sides, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the last one with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're going to want to just fill this in however you want to do it. There is no right or wrong way. You can connect the corners like I'm doing. You can go, side to side until you just eventually fill it up and then go to the other one. But once you're done with that, we'll be back with the next step. All right, now that we have our 18 by 18 platform set up, what you're going to want to do is you're going to build the lip to keep the water in. So just go up and over by 1 and just put a perimeter around every single platform. And now that we have our perimeters, go ahead and get out your water buckets. Start on one side. And it doesn't matter which of these 4 sides you start on, just make sure you do the exact same thing on the opposite side. Okay, what I mean by that is we're going to go ahead and place our water sources. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now, obviously, if you're in survival, you're not going to be able to go across like I did. So what you can do is you get yourself 2 water buckets. You place one here and place one right here. That first and third. This one becomes a source, infinite water source. I'll show you right here. We can keep scooping up water. So then you scoop up and then place it a couple blocks over. Scoop up, place a couple blocks over, okay? And then you're going to repeat that all the way until you get to here. Then we have this nice 2 by 2 strip. Or strip of 2 by 18, yes. And then you're going to want to create a infinite water source here. You can scoop up and place it right here. That way we have no dead spots. Everything flows straight down into this center piece, okay? And go ahead and finish on all 4 sides and we'll be back with the next step. Okay, crafters, we have our collection pads all set up. Now we just need to start the farm itself. So what you want to do is you want to get out your building block and you start on any of these that you want. I would suggest that you start in the top left corner. So if we're facing, this is the front, you want to go all the way to the top and to the left. From here, in the corner, we're going to go over 1, 2, and 3. All right. Then we're going to go up by 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go ahead and break this. So we're going to go up by 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There should be about a 3 by 2 space from that block. Then we're going to go over by 13 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This time we'll be at a 3 by 3 gap from each side. And then we're going to go over here, connect it up. You're going to have about a 3 by 2 right here. And then just bring it up. Bring it all the way across like that so you have your square. Then you're going to want to bring lines all the way across. And then you're just going to want to, whichever direction you want to go, forward, back, side to side, just go ahead and create these little spaces. When that's done, you should have a grid-like square that looks like this. Okay? Go ahead and get out your buttons. And we're going to bring this all the way around the perimeter. Like so. And then from here, we're going to keep your buttons out. And everywhere the lines connect, so in the corners, right here, wherever there's an intersection, you're going to want to place down your buttons. And then in here. And when you're done, you're going to have a platform that looks like this. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring this platform up by 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so you should have a nice 2-block gap. And you're going to recreate this entire platform with this exact spacing. I'm just going to do a quick clone command real quick because I've got something else I need to show you. All right, so let's just say we built all of that. And what you're going to do is you're going to get out your trapdoors, and everywhere that there is a spawnable space, meaning anywhere that there is no button, you want to place your trapdoors. This is going to be very, very tedious. It's going to take some time, but it needs to be done. And this is the only way to ensure that we have nothing but creepers. Okay, so go ahead and build your second platform. Place your trapdoors. And once you are done with that, you're going to repeat this entire process. You're going to go up by 10 platforms total. So this is 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You should be about this high roughly by the time you're done, okay? So you know what to do now? Build out your 13 by 13s, put in your buttons, Put your trapdoors everywhere there is a spawnable space because this will make it to where only creepers can spawn. And I will see you when we have our tower of 10. And you're going to have a tower that looks like this. As you can see, we got ourselves a layer of 10. We got a 13 by 13 spawn platforms. And so now we need to create the cover. So once you complete this, you are pretty much done with your first farm, and you will begin spawning creepers as you work on the rest of the crucible, okay? So keep that in mind. You're going to want to spawn proof because light level is going to be low. We'll go over that in just a bit. So we're going to start our cover off by going up by 1, 2, 3. Now bring that block over to your corner. All right, and we're going to go out by 8, not counting this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then come out to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Same thing over here. We're going to go up by 1, 2, 3. Break those. Find your corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From here, you're going to want to just go ahead and bring this all the way along. Fill this in until you have your massive square. I'm just going to use a quick little fill command. And you're going to have something that looks like this. And once this is done, I have mob spawning turned off right now. But once you have this set up, you're going to begin spawning just creepers. Now, make sure you slab this because you're going to have other mobs spawning. And what we want to do here to spawn proof the top, you're going to want to cover this all up in slabs. I got a little quick command for that. Okay, so you're going to want to slab the top of all of this, and then of course you guessed it, you're going to want to make sure that this is zombie and skeleton proof. You're going to want to place your trapdoors. Just getting into my my clone spot. You're going to want to place your trapdoors in that appropriate spot. Let's go ahead, and there we go. So this is it. This is what it will look like completed. Okay, make sure you have your trapdoors, your buttons, your covering. It's going to get pretty dark over here. We're going to go over some lighting further down in the tutorial. But this is it, everyone. Congratulations. You have built your first farm out of 4 for the Crucible. Okay, so let's make sure that we slab this up a bit. And once we have the slabs in place, it's actually, this area is pretty safe. There's nothing that's going to happen. We're gonna work on that part in a bit. But this is it. This is going to be your creeper farm. Now do this on the other 3, and I will see you when that is done. And there we go, everyone. That is all 4 farms. If we turn on our mob spawning real quick, you're eventually going to see that we have some creepers gathering up already. XP is being destroyed, but gunpowder is being collected. Now, a couple things we do want to do when it comes to our charged creepers is that you're going to want to make sure that you have, of course, a trident with channeling and loyalty. The other ones don't really matter. Mending would help. But you are going to need channeling to turn them into charged creepers, and you're going to need loyalty to, have your trident come back to you, because, you're not going to want to go in there, especially when they're charged. You're going to die, you're going to lose your stuff, you're going to destroy your farm. So, yeah. Now, mob proofing, lighting, what you can do, light it up however you're comfortable with, spam it all in torches or whatnot. On the tops, just make sure that we put our slabs on top of anywhere that a mob could potentially spawn. You're going to, of course, want to put your slabs down. All right. All right, so let's give a brief tour of the slabbed area. So we'll just kind of, like I said earlier, anywhere that a mob could spawn. Oh, forgot one. All right, as I was saying, anywhere that a mob could spawn, just go ahead and slap some slabs on there. And also in here, you're going to want to put some torches in here because otherwise it's pretty dark and we have some spawnable spots. We want to make sure that this is creepers only. And right here, you want some sort of lighting right above here. No slabs, of course, because the water's flowing through. And the reason for this, of course, is when we go into our charge and contain, and if you leave it in that state, you just forget to turn it back on or whatever, we have these spawnable spots that other mobs could appear in too, okay? So make sure that you just have some way of, mob proofing that area. Light up this however you want. It's up to you, just as long as you get the basics down of the slabs on all of the spawnable surfaces. Just another troubleshooting tip. So before you go into charged mode, because this is a master switch, it will turn off all of our trident killers. So before you go into charged mode, on every single module, you're going to have to individually turn them into charged and contained mode. Otherwise, you kind of run the risk of just having regular creepers just run through the water stream and into the nether, and then you kind of just waste your charged creepers. Once they're all flipped down in the on state, go ahead and turn it into charge mode, and then you will just have creepers slowly gather up in your area. Oh, here we go. We have one right here. Let's go ahead and just to make sure that things are working, we're going to have a thunderstorm. And as soon as it leaves that water stream, it should be out of cover, and should be there. We go. Oh, that was a little strong. I think because I have impaling on here. Huh, that's weird. Okay, don't use impaling. I just learned that. Don't use impaling 5. It will insta kill them. Okay, just channeling and loyalty. That's all you need. All right, team, let's try round 2. So here we go. We have our creepers here. I just took off all those other enchantments. It has channeling and loyalty. Look at that. We have 6 creepers on their way into the nether, and we are going to use them for wither skull farming. And in the nether, I would recommend when you link your portals that this is built somewhere near where a nether fortress will be on the other side. So for example, if we went through these portals right now, you would want to be in a nether fortress that you have, cleared out and reconfigured for your wither skeleton farm. And we just want to make sure that whenever you leave, of course, I mentioned in the troubleshooting that you leave all of your switches in their default. Oh, here we go. We got some new ones in their default off state, and then take it out of AFK or take it back into AFK mode before you log out of your world. Otherwise, you're going to have that observer issue that I mentioned before. Just re-trip the switch and you will be good to go. And I'm afraid that's going to be it for today, everyone. That concludes the full tutorial. Of course, you can always check my previous video, part 1 of 2 of the Creeper Crucible showcase, for you to, if you have any questions on troubleshooting, there's an entire video on that. Always refer to this on how to build it. Thank you all again so much for sticking around for this long. I know tutorials sometimes can be a lengthy process. I appreciate all of you for sticking around and watching this full tutorial. I hope this farm does well for you. It has been doing well for me so far with all the testing, 22 stacks per hour. So let me know how this farm works out for you, how long it took for you to build it, any challenges, if you have any questions, any troubleshooting issues that I may have overlooked in the video, feel free to leave a comment down below. So until then, everyone, I am Timeless Traveler, and thank you all again for coming to my channel.